Hello there. Normally, I used to start these off by saying hello to the ladies, the gentlemen, the misters, and the ladies. But on this one, I'm going to just come in like this. I'm going to just say, hey, how you doing? It has been approximately December, January, February, March, April. It's been about 4 or 5 months since I have last recorded an episode. I have not checked. I am not going to check. I don't want to check. It'll be a little depressing. Somewhere along the lines, after I had just started this, after I had just got things going, I think I really lost my passion. I lost the joy that I was getting from doing this. It got too much. It got too stressful trying to figure in time for it. I was not having time to do so much other stuff that trying to just record and just go back and do something else, that as much as I love this, it takes time and it takes effort, and that was time that I wasn't even getting to put towards being with people that I cared about. So for me, this was just something that was difficult to do. But yeah, we're not gonna focus on that little depressing intro too long. This is Kinetic Aesthetic. I am your boy Germ. I do want to say I appreciate you tuning in. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I started this one off by letting y'all know why I've been gone so long, and that's probably what I'm going to talk about for this entire episode. I didn't come to this mic with a plan. I didn't come to this mic with a script or with an idea in my head like I normally do. I just came over here and I just wanted to share some of my immediate thoughts. I have had a lot of changes in my life over the past couple of months. A lot of stuff that I thought I was going to be doing, that I thought I was going to be doing for the foreseeable future, that all just changed and it got switched up very rapidly. And it's just been a whole journey. For as much as I've been told that I'm doing good, that I'm succeeding, that I'm doing great, and that I'm doing well, there's been so many different moments. Hell, I just had a moment like that this just literally before I started to record this, where I just sort of felt like I was ready to fucking crack and break, because I've been just sort of trying so much to do it on my own. And I know that sounds dumb, but I've always sort of had this idea that, I don't want to be that person that's a burden to anybody. I don't want to be that guy that's always having to rely on somebody else, or just having to rely on someone else as a crutch. So I have a tendency to try to I will figure out every solution I can that will not involve anybody else, or that will inconvenience as little people as possible. And that is not always the best thing to do, especially when you're dealing with, grown-up shit. Real life shit. And for starters, I guess if I want to go into any specifics, or I want to elaborate on any of this, because I'm not sure I want to elaborate on too much of it. I was working at the post office for the past couple months before I had gotten my new job that I'm working at currently. That is what I'm going to tell you right now. It is a job that is not for the weak. You're gonna be working. They're going to make sure that you are in there earning your fucking paycheck and then some. It's 12 hours, mandatory 12 hours if you're not a regular, if you're a temp hire, which is what they start everybody off on. And then once you get past that, even though you're a regular, you're still working 10 hours a day. So yeah, and it wasn't too bad for me, because at first I started out at 8 a.m. and, I'll be honest with you, I don't mind doing no 8 a.m. to 8 o'clock at the latest. That's not terrible, especially when you're not really doing too much during the day. So I got it sort of sweet starting off, which is probably why it didn't really bother me too much. Back then when I was releasing episodes while I was working there, it was a little tight, trying to fit that window in to actually get some stuff done and record and get everything taken care of, getting the editing the way I wanted it, not trying to release trash or shit that sounded too generic or amateurish. But it didn't it just, it was difficult already. But once I actually got regular, and at first I'm thinking, all right, this is great, this is sweet, I'm gonna be in here regular, I'm gonna have 2 days off. That is until I figure out that I'm gonna be working from fucking 4 to 2:30 in the morning. Yeah. And on top of that, my off days were Monday and Tuesday. So yeah. Yeah. It it went to shit pretty quick. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Once I worked those hours, once I understood what people really were, what it was really like to work that night shift up there, and once I realized that, it really doesn't make a fucking difference whether you're there in the day shift or in the night shift, you're not going to have any fucking time, even with 2 days off, because it really doesn't matter. Like, what are you going to do with 2 days? When you're working 10, you're already going to be tired, and then, God forbid, you don't have weekends, then what are you going to do for fun? Who are you going to call to hang out with? So, yeah. So it just, I learned a valuable lesson. And that valuable lesson that I hope that anyone is going to get from listening to this story and listening to me rant about all this crap is that work versus life balance is something that is so critical that I don't think people think about, that I don't think that enough people value, because a lot of the times the reason you're unhappy is because you're dedicating so much of your time to a job or so much of your day. Think about how much time it takes you to get up, get ready for work, go to your car, or God forbid, go get whatever means of transportation that it is that you have to do to get to your job. Then on top of that, that's the time that you spend there. Then you're not paid for your lunch break, so that's an extra little. Everybody's at their job for 8.5 hours for the most part, for being real. And then you got to think about that. Then you got to think about the ride home. Then you got to think about unwinding. Then you got to think about, okay, all the extra time that you're spending. Work versus life balance is so much more than just, okay, I work 40 hours a week. It's all the time that you're spending going to and from, getting ready, mentally ready, preparing, all the shit that you might have to do outside of it that you still have to do that's related to work. It's a lot. And when you don't have it right, when your work versus life balance is off kilter, everything else is going to just plummet. It's not going to work. No matter how much you enjoy a job, no matter how well it pays, you're not going to be happy, and you're just going to be stuck. And for a while there, I was stuck. Like during December, it's a mandatory, you work every day of the month. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and you're working 12 hours. So even though I was regular, I was right back to the temp shit. And yeah, I want to tell you, about 15 days into the month, I pretty much figured out I wasn't going to last at this job. It didn't matter if I got past it. It didn't matter if I got past that year. I'm not going to do that next year. I'm not going to do any of this shit. This shit is dumb. It was dumb. The system is dumb. The people are dumb. Supervisors dumb. Dumb, dummity dumb. And that's the PG way of me saying it. I'm not about to say what the fuck I really feel about it, because that might, I don't want to do that. But it was too much. And thankfully, I was able to leave. I finally mustered up the cojones to just say, fuck it, I'm out. Just last month, it was a big transition period. It's rough and it's rocky, and I'm still sort of, adjusting. I'm still making sure all my affairs are in order, all my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed. I don't know why that's my favorite saying all of a sudden, but I'm just making sure that everything is taken care of. But I'm happier. I can honestly say any stress that I've been having is not coming from work. Nothing about my job has me stressed. Nothing about getting up in the morning and going to my job. It's Monday through Friday. It's 8 to 5. I'm fucking happy. I'm happy. I got an hour lunch. I'm Gucci. I can't complain to you about anything. So I think what I really want to say to anybody else that's in a position where they're unhappy with their job, or they're not happy with what they're doing, don't waste time. The longer that you wait to make yourself happy, to get yourself out of that situation, to get yourself out of that rut, out of that hole, the longer it's going to take to climb out of it. If I would have just left earlier, if I would have just saw the signs or just acknowledged the signs that I was getting that job wasn't going to be for me or that I wasn't going to be there that long, I would have been so much happier. Knowing that the job that I have now, that is in an industry that I have great tools for, that I can succeed in, was right across the street, that all I had to fucking do was just apply and I would have just been in there like that. I now know that I cannot just waste time. You cannot just get somewhere and just think, okay, I can be here for a minute. I'll think about what my next step is a little later. No, you have to always be thinking about the next move. You have to always be applying. Even if you leave your job, even if you hear my voice and you get inspired and you leave your job that you're unhappy at, and you go and get a new one, have your LinkedIn, have your resume already up and run into other places that are a step above that, because you never know who's going to want to give you a chance. You never know who's going to be interested. You never know who's going to see your picture and be like, oh, I like the way he looks. It's all about just taking the brass ring, grabbing that motherfucker, and just, you don't wait for the ball to be in your court. You grab the ball and you put it in your court. That is all it takes. And that's all that I feel like I have been doing over the past couple of weeks. And I'm still just, I'm uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable with where I'm at in my life. I'm not going to lie to anybody that's listening to this right now. I'm uneasy. I'm still very, very fucking anxious. I've been having anxiety out of my ass for the past couple of days. It's not fun to be me right now, but I keep telling myself and I keep reminding myself, there is light at the end of this tunnel. I just have to get through this fucking tunnel. I just have to dredge myself through this fucking murky water to get through it. It's like the fucking end of the Shawshank Redemption when Tom Hanks has to what's the word I'm looking for? Crawl through all that shit to get to that freedom. I feel like I'm almost there. It just feels like I'm getting to the real shitty parts. But yeah, I've already talked about this and all. I've already talked about a lot of this stuff way more than I thought I was going to on this. When it comes to what I'm going to be doing going forward, I am in the process of brainstorming on what I want my next phase for this show to be. I want to get a lot more input from other sources on it. I want to get, I want to do more. I want to really start going with some interviews. I don't like to just release a whole bunch of episodes of just listening to myself talk. I love my own voice, but I don't love it that much. So I really got to get that going. I already got a couple people in mind. I already have sent out some DMs to some people that y'all might not be expecting me to want to interview. So we'll see what happens on that. But this has been Kinetic Aesthetic. This has been your boy Germ. I do want to say I appreciate to anyone that listens, to anyone that listened to this, that has been listening to all the other episodes. You are greatly appreciated. You are loved. And to everybody else, thank you for coming on for the ride. And this next ride of the journey is going to be the best part. So, yes, this is Germ, and I'm out.